Hey, we're going to be taking a look right now at it's an old blues tune called Mean Old World. It's been done by a lot of different artists, but the version we're specifically looking at is the Eric Clapton, Dwayne Allman duet. Fantastic version. I recommend you go give it a listen. That version, they're playing slide. The guitars are tuned to an open E chord, and the capo is on the 3rd fret. If you go and look up the guitar chords for the song online, it's going to say that it's in the key of E, E7, A7, and then this riff over the B7. But in actuality, if you put a capo on the 3rd fret, then it's in the key of G. So we're in standard tuning, and we're not using a capo, and we're just going to learn the song in G, G7, C7, D7, a G blues, regular old 1-4-5 blues. Let's talk real quick about the chord progression. It's a quick change blues, which means there's one bar of G7 followed by one bar of C7, back to two bars of G7, followed by 2 bars of C7, back to 2 bars of G7, up to D7 for a bar, down to C7 for a bar, back to your root. And that's called a 1-4-5 because we're using the root chord, the 1, and we're going up a 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, and playing the dominant chord there. And then we're also playing the dominant chord a whole step above that at the 5th. So 1, 4, 5 is the chord progression. And that's a standard 12-bar blues chord progression. So we're going to start with the intro riff to Mean Old World. We're going to start on the C with our 3rd finger, and we're going to slide up a whole step to D, which is the 5th of the chord. We're playing in G, right? G7. So we're going to slide up to the 5th, and then we're going to go up to the minor 7, 1st finger, 3rd fret, D string. Then we're going to go back down to the 5th fret and back up to the 3rd fret. Then we're going to, you can either slide or hammer on. Either one, they're both valid blues techniques. Right, so what we're doing is we're going from this note, the minor 7th, to the octave, and you can slide, right, a whole slide. You can slide a half step, or you can hammer on. It really depends on how you want to approach the song. So right there's a little descending pattern. We slide up. I like to slide. So we're going from the octave down to the minor 7th, down to the 5th, down to the 4th, and then down to the minor 3rd. Now, you should notice that here's our G7 chord. Root, 5th, minor 7, major 3rd. Well, this is a minor 3rd. And that's because it gives us a blue note, right? But there's 2 blue notes between the minor 3rd and major 3rd, and between the 4th and 5th with the flat 5, sharp 4th, flat 5. So the next part after we descend down to there is we slide up from the 7th, minor 7th to the octave, back down to the 7th, back down to the 5th, and then back up from the 7th to the octave, slide, hammer on, whatever you want to do. Now, something I should mention about this riff is it starts on the and of one. It doesn't start right on the one. And you know you start on the and of the one if when you come to that slide, it's on a downbeat. So I'm going to put my metronome on. Okay. So that's the riff that begins the song. It plays twice and it begins, and it's a call and response. The whole song goes from the chords to that riff. Okay, let's talk about the theory behind that riff and why it works. So we've kind of touched on this already. It's being based out of the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, G minor pentatonic. And the notes it's using are the 5th, 7th octave, 7th, 5th, 4th, minor 3rd. Okay, so the Clapton Duane Allman version is played with slides. So it's really best to slide into all of these chords from a half step below to kind of keep that feel. Right? So I'm going to put the metronome on and I'm going to play through the intro, the riff 2 times, and then go into the verses and play the riff as the call and response to the verses. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. It's hard playing slow. People think it's easy. I always recommend practice very slowly. But I'm going to speed it up a little bit. It's a little more of a upbeat tune than that. Let's get a little bounce into it. And that has been our introduction to the Eric Clapton, Duane Allman version of Mean Old World, but tuned to standard tuning and played without a slide. Hope you enjoyed it.